morning, everybody. Welcome. My name is Jodie Jordan. I am a demonstrator for Stampin' Up, and today I have the cutest cards. I'm only going to demonstrate how to make one, but there are three to show you. They're all made almost exactly the same way. When we get to that point, or I will actually show you what I mean, or what the difference is, and it's just a slight difference with one card. But I'm using the adhesive back snowflake assortment. These are new online exclusives. I'm using the brightest glow 'Tis the Season stamp. I'm using the So Very Merry. You're definitely going to want this set after seeing these cards. They're so cute. This is on back order until I believe the 31st. I'm using the Stylish Shape dies. So for one card, I punched out the top layer with the, what is this? The decorative circle punch. For two of the cards and the one I'm demonstrating today, I used the largest and the next, or the third largest, to create to cut out the shape, the actual image here. And then what I did was I inlaid these and I cut a border to go on top for two of the cards. So, and then I used the beautiful One Horse Open Sleigh Designer Series paper. So let's get started. Okay, so the technique that this is called the twisted ribbon. It's not anything I invented. It's all over the internet, but this is my first time making these cards. So the measurements here are for the let's see. For this panel right here, it is 2 by 5 1/4. And then the designer series paper is 1 3/4 by 5. And then there's the inside panel is just a normal panel, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, or I'm sorry, 4 by 5 1/4. And then this, the card base is just like a normal card base, except for you're going to cut 2 inches off this off the front of the card. I decided to heat emboss this and use my markers. I know people say you're not supposed to do it. For me, it helps me kind of stay in the lines. I've always done it. I can't say whether it's good or bad on your markers because honestly, I've never, I don't know. I'm not much of a colorer. I mean, I have tons of markers. I have a whole thing of them, but I'm not a person that, maybe if you were like the kind of person that draws scenes with your cards, like, there's some ladies that use those Copic markers and they can create a whole scene with those markers. I'm not that girl. I just do it to fill in the color. A long time ago when I had my back surgery, I did take a coloring class for Copics, and it was a lot. So that's why I kind of like these Stampin' Up markers, because there's a light and a dark. It's simple. It's not, rocket science to try and figure it out. The Copic markers are. And like I said, I just do a little bit of shading or coloring. I'm not creating scenes with it. So from what I could tell, it didn't do any damage to my markers. What I will say is when I did do the black, sometimes that black will come off. The gold, it did not at all. It's just like when you do the emboss resist, it wipes off. But these are alcohol markers, so they say you're not supposed to do it, but I did it. So I'm just letting you know. Honestly, what I would like, I did the markers because in the video it's just faster. But I took a whole evening. I sat and just kind of watched TV. I have a little TV in my craft room, and I sat and I just watercolored and watched a movie for hours, like to do all those are all the samples that I'm going to show you at the end. Um, Honestly, that's probably, the better way. Also, if you don't have all the markers, but you do have like the ink pads or the refills, then, that would be a better option. So here I'm just marking every half inch. Now, at first I do every inch and then I do the half inch because this is a new ruler I just got, a new tube ruler, and it's very small, the measurements. In fact, the lines aren't defined for the half, but they're defined for the full inch. So I was going back in. That's why I'm kind of looking at it and kind of going a little bit slow. But you don't have to use a T ruler for this. I just chose to do it to keep it straight. It just is something a ruler that I like to use. I have several different ones, and this is the newest one that I got from My Sweet Petunia. When I bought my Misty, I was trying to get a free shipping, so I threw this in the cart because I'm always trying to try new things because, some tools are better than others. And the one that I got from Amazon, it's nice, but I like having the smaller ones because I really rarely ever do a project that's 12 inches, and it always gets in the way because I always have stuff all over my um, desk, and just I thought I wanted to try the smaller one. So here, you're going to start at the top corner and work your way down to the first notch. That's the only way I know how to tell you to start it is start at the very top left corner and work your way down to the first tick mark because it gets confusing. Like I almost have to lay it down every time just to make sure I'm doing it right. I think after you do so many cards, you get a little bit better. At this point, I think I can't remember which card this was that I made. I think this was I don't want to say it's my last one because I didn't do it that great at remembering, but I think I could do a lot better now. Once I did a couple. That's just me turning on my fan. It's hot in here. So start at your like I said at that top corner, and then just kind of angle it to the first tick mark, and you're just going to do the same color all the way down every other tick mark. So this is supposed to like resemble like if you were doing a double-sided ribbon and the one side's different color and it's kind of like going back and forth. That's what this is meant to look like. For this card, you can't really see. It's like it's the lighter wood grain in the paper pack, but it's still enough contrast. I tried doing it on on a different cardstock, like instead of the white, but it blended in too much that way. So I used crumb cake, and I think that's what color that might be. I'm not sure, but I didn't. I ended up not liking it, so I ended up using the white. I think I see. I used the white for all three cards. It's just a good contrast, so you can wait and cut them all at the end. I prefer to do it this way to get all these out of the way, um, so I can line up the other ones better. I think it would definitely be easier to cut doing it this way. I never tried putting them all on, or I did one time. I didn't like it. It was too thick, but you can do whatever is comfortable for you. So now I'm just coming in with the other color, the blue. And so now you're going to start at the bottom, tick at the bottom of the wood grain and go all the way up to that corner. It's going to come off the paper. It's barely going to hang on the paper. Like the only thing that's going to be there is just the very tip. The very, very tip. Some people don't even start with this one. They'll start with the second one and then come back because I'm not really sure why. For me, it was more. I felt like See, I'm still trying to make sure I'm doing it right. But for this one, you're going to start at the top of the one that's already down and go to the top of the one that's of the wood grain for each side, the top of each side. I love these cards. I kept making them, and my mom, my biggest supporter, my fan, she just was like she would come in between. She sneaks in here on me, and she just keeps talking about her favorite. Oh, that's my favorite. Oh, I don't know, that one's my favorite. I'm always talking about my mom and how she's always talking about my stuff. I was like, well, it's only July, but we got 3 Christmas cards already to send. She starts laughing at me. I'm so ready for the pre-order, but I'm so nervous about it. So for if you're a demonstrator, the demonstrators get to pre-order the holiday catalog. We get to see it, I think, on the 28th. So we got another week to go, and then we get to pre-order, I think, August something. I want to say the 6th for some reason, but I'm probably telling a lie. But I'm kind of nervous about it because it's like they're talking about UPS going on strike. So that's kind of a subject everybody's worried about, especially since it's taken almost 3 weeks to get your orders nowadays. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to turn it over, flip it over, and put all those extra panels off. Now those strips I cut at 2.5 by 1/2 inch, and I just did the 2.5 just so it'd be to give you enough wiggle room and have it's not too long. I mean, there's a little bit you're cutting off extra, but it's enough to just be comfortable to where you can get your fingers and hold on to both sides. And so this layer, I think I told you, this strip is maybe I didn't. Okay, so there's two white panels. There's this one is 1 5/8 by 5, and then the one that goes on the inside is 2 by 5. And so this is just going to glue down to that. There's no the layer that you glue down inside your card like you normally would, just the white piece. I use the blue, and it's the Misty Moonlight, and you're just gonna make sure that you put that 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And then for the white piece that goes on the inside, you just want to make sure it doesn't you're going to do the same thing, but you definitely want to try to close your card and make sure it's not peeking out so you don't see it, because you don't want to see it. That would mess up the way it looks. I like that I changed my card class to go um, to every other week, and it's given me more time to try to work on things. Like normally I would only do, I mean, I'm still only doing one card for today, um, which I normally do, but at least I have other samples to show you. I love this stamp set. I'm so glad I got it. I I went back and forth for the longest on the sleigh one, and I didn't order it during the pre-order. And then this one wasn't available for the pre-order. And then I ended up getting the sleigh, and I'm still not sure. Like I'm just not big on coloring, and that thing has so much to color. But I'll make some cards with it. It might not be as bad because I won't feel as rushed, like I said. But I'm definitely not a person that likes to do a lot of coloring. I do like heat embossing though. That's sometimes heat embossing can not be as fun because it's kind of messy. It doesn't have to be. It's just I think the way I do it. This angel is so gorgeous. I don't know. I love it. It's so pretty. And, my favorite color is blue. So, with the misty moonlight, it's just one of my favorite colors of blue. Um, when I color this, I literally just use the light and dark, um, to do a little contrast, but, for all the colors. Now, I do not have a blend in the petal pink, which is the color that I color her face and hands. I just used one of my Stampin' Right markers. Now, it's not an alcohol-based marker, so with those, you can't really color big images, but for the face and the hands, it was perfect because it doesn't if you color big images, it'll leave like a streak, like, your markers when you were like in school or whatever, how they you couldn't color like big areas. Um, so I I think I'm gonna speed this part up because it really takes a long time. But I will say that I what I did was every other panel I did light, dark, light, dark. I did that for everything. Even the yellow in the background, I did lemon lolly light and dark. And you really I wouldn't say you can tell a whole lot with the yellow. You can, but not really, not like you can the blue. And then for her hair, I used crumb cake light. Um, and then the wings I just left white and I went over them with a glitter pen, which would be if it was here, I would have used the Wink of Stella. Okay, so I colored or I ended up speeding up the video just a little bit. It looks like it's in slow motion while I'm watching it, but I actually sped it up just like one and a half times. So it's not like super fast, but um I didn't want you to have to sit through too much of this. It's, pretty boring just watching somebody color. But I I probably didn't have to color it in so much. Like, when those ladies that do all that fancy coloring, they leave like blank spots and this and that. But I feel like it still, once you get all the color on there, it kind of has like a little haze to it. Um, and I love the way it turned out, the way I colored it. So, one thing that you can do after it's completely dried is go in with like a paper towel, just like when you do the emboss resist, and just kind of shine up the emboss. But I would wait, especially with that Wink of Stella. The Wink of Stella stays wet for a long time, or you could do it before you did the Wink of Stella. The marker doesn't rub off, but that Winkostella or whatever, the glitter pen that I used, it definitely does. It's still coming off when you touch it. So I've never had the Winkostella before. Honestly, I don't really use that much. I have an allergy to glitter. Um, so like I itch real bad when I use stuff like that. But I still I can't say I don't use glitter because I do. I just don't use it that much. Like I don't try to use it if I don't have to, but when it comes to like stuff like angel wings, I feel like it needs it, but that doesn't really get on my skin. So, but these pens right here, I went to I don't even know the name of the one I used. I've had, I just threw one out that I've had since it was the very first one I ever bought. And then I had too, and I got them at a I went to a, scrapbooking convention or something, and that was, like, the door prize, and my mom went with me, so she got one and I got one, so, I that's how long I've had them. I don't know if it's just that craft tool that I forget that's there or what, but I did order one of the Wink Stellas because I wanted to see the difference. Um, and I know I do use it a lot for Christmas. Like that's when I will use it is for Christmas. I'm surprised that the one wasn't dried out, but it was brand new. And when I opened it to, that's probably why it's so like glittery everywhere. You can't see it on camera, but it's all over my hands and my desk. You have to kind of look at the image a little bit and kind of see what you want to include as her dress. Like there was some people I noticed, like the back panel under the wing, they didn't. Some people didn't include that as her dress. I did. I thought it flowed like it was her dress. I didn't think it looked because the window pane is going in a totally different direction. So I know I've seen some people coloring and they didn't color that back part in. So it's whatever you want. Like I said, I always tell you it's your card. You can pick how you want to do it. One of the things I probably would have done different with this card is either took my scissors and kind of trimmed down just a little bit the white. Um, when I go to put the when I what I do is I layer it onto the Misty Moonlight circle, and I probably should have cut it just a little bit because you can kind of see on the edges the white. It may not bother you. It's not bad. Like it didn't bother me enough to where I wanted to change it. And this is still my favorite card, even though it's there. For the Santa Claus one, I actually took my marker and went along the edge of it and colored it in. I have a old black Stamp and Write marker, and I just went around the edges with the felt or with the what is it, the coloring end or whatever, and it looked really nice. So for my gingerbread card, I that's the one I told you that I used a punch for one. It didn't have the circle or the stained glass look around it, so I just punched it out. Um, I'll show you those cards at the end. I love these. I want to make more, but I know I need to make something else. That's how much I really like these cards. They're so pretty. I want to try and do some stuff with vellum with them because I feel like this is the perfect thing to do with vellum since it's supposed to be stained glass. So I actually cut the vellum and I have it sitting here on my desk, and then I just went ahead and went with the markers. I was like, oh, I'll go with markers, which when you use vellum, you can use markers on the back, but then you have to be strategic about how you adhere it to your card because you don't want to see the stick, the adhesive. So I'm definitely going to make more cards with this. I just got to get over that. I can make something just as cute a different way. Yeah, I'm definitely. It's funny that I love this angel so much because normally I would go for the gingerbread because gingerbread is like my favorite Christmas. Like at Christmas, my whole house is done in gingerbread. I have a gingerbread that's like probably 3 feet tall and probably a foot wide, and it lights up. And then I have like gingerbread stocking holders, and then I collect Ray Dunn, which for some of you, you might not know what that is, but it's like the pottery that you see in the stores that has the names on them. Like it'll say water or I have all different themes. Like right now it's summer, so I have my beach stuff up. So it's like I have canisters that say surf and sea. Um, But for Christmas, I have gingerbread birdhouses. So here, that's where I'm putting that little ring down, and you could either cut the circle, just like trim just a tiny bit, or I could have put a white border, I guess, around it instead of the blue, but I really like the blue. Like I said, it's not bad. It's not something that just bugs me. It's just if I could change it, I probably would have. So on this card, I just hand stamped the "'Tis the Season" with the Misty Moonlight uh, ink pad. For my other cards, I did heat embossing. That's one thing that I would change on my gingerbread is I would have went ahead and done it in like early espresso, which I'll explain all this when I show you the cards because you don't even know until I what I'm talking about. But that's definitely something that I would have changed because you can barely see my the embossing. There's a couple cards that I had little boo boos, and I used these to kind of hide it, but this one wasn't one of them. Okay, so at the end, I will show pictures of these cards, but because I feel like the picture does it a lot better than seeing it on camera. But this is the card that we did that I demonstrated making. And for this one, I used, for all these, I used markers and I did heat emboss. They say you're not supposed to do it, that it'll ruin your markers. I only kind of had a little bit of trouble when I started doing the Santa, and I didn't really have trouble. It's just the black kind of rubs off, but the gold did not. So, I'm a horrible colorer, so this is the best way that I know to keep in the lines. And also, I used this other glitter pen. I didn't have my Wink of Stella didn't come yet, so I had to do a video for today, so I wanted to make sure. But this is the angel, totally gorgeous. I love her so much. I think this is normally I tend to fall towards gingerbreads, but this gingerbread house is not my favorite gingerbread ever. I mean, it's cute, but I think this one's probably my favorite. So here's the gingerbread. Now for this, I wish I would have stamped this greeting. You can't really see it very well. I should have done it in the early espresso. I think it would have stood out more. That's what I did. And this one, I did the darker, the misty moonlight blue, and I feel like that's what it made it pop. Plus, this is a lighter, little bit not so busy pattern, but I think it would have stood out. So I'm going to do this one over again, but I did stamp the inside. I had a little boo-boo right there, so I just used one of my little snowflakes to cover that up. And then here's the Santa. Now, for the Santa, I did heat emboss this down here with that stamp. I had a little boo-boo down here, so I kind of changed up where I put the embellishment. This, whatever that glitter pen is, it's just one that I had. It's like rubbing off on my fingers now, but hopefully my Wink of Stella will be here today, actually. I think that order is supposed to come today, but this is the Santa. Let me get up closer. So I did emboss him as well, and like I said, this was all colored with markers, totally colored with markers. And then here's more up close. Now I wanted to show you something that so I used I have the old ones. I ordered the new ones, and they should be here today too. But the water painters. So what I did was I just took I took one of these smaller blocks and I dipped it in the ink, and then I would take and pick up the color with the ink. I didn't do that on camera. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the results, and it's really pretty. It's just it takes so long. I originally I wasn't going to do markers because I knew you weren't supposed to do it with heat embossing, but I want to show you what I did. So this is what it looks like with silver, and this is all watercoloring. I started out doing colored pencils, and the color pencils, this was too small to get in there and get a good color. So, but this is all done with watercoloring, and this is the silver. This is if it's embossed in black. All watercoloring. Now this is so bright red, but let me tell you, I went in there several times. I would go in there and then I'd work on the other ones. I'd come back and layer it up so you can see it is really good coverage. And then here's the gold. And then I just tried something different because I wanted to do the white because of the gingerbread, because I wanted to have red and white like candy canes for the gingerbread, but I am not loving the white. Now, I love the angel in the white. The angel is really pretty, I think. But I feel like it kind of washes everything out. Maybe I didn't like it and I didn't apply as much color to it. Maybe if I went back and put more color in it like I did for some of the other ones, you know. But I just wanted to show you guys that. I will put these on some cards, but this took me hours to do. And, you know, letting them dry, but I think they turned out gorgeous. So that's all for today. I'm going to put, like I said, pictures of all 3 cards one by one after I sign off. So I will see you for another video on Monday. Thank you. Bye-bye. So let me know in the comments which card is your favorite. Mine is definitely the angel. And tell me what you think about the cards. Thanks. Bye-bye.